Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Fix This Build That Sunday Night Live Show. I'm Brad.
And I'm Susan.
And we're back.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, last week was 4th of July, and so we figured that was not a great time to do it live, so we didn't.
Yep, we were off.
And we didn't tell you either, so sorry about that.
Sorry.
But what we did do, I'm just resizing everything. It's like you take 1 week off and everything just feels unfamiliar.
Yeah.
But we did launch a video today. Let me just resize this chat here. There we go. We did launch a video today, which was 13 different tips to organize your messy wood shop.
That's right.
So when I was doing the title at the end, I was like, messy workshop. Instead of just organize your workshop, messy workshop. So there you go. Talk about material storage, talk about small part storage. Those were the two things that I heard about the most when I asked the audience, hey, what do you guys struggle with? Small parts and material, scraps, offcuts. And then after that, got into just kind of the midterm and like the other small hand tools. So cordless hand tools, as well as non-powered hand tools. And then some mid to long-term storage as well. So if you've not seen the video yet, go check it out. If you have, let me know what your favorite tip was.
Yeah.
Because we had fun with that one. All right, so before we jump in and greet everybody here, we do want to greet a few new members to the Builders Club. We had Robert Kelley. Now, I mean, these folks are really putting me to the test here. I'm going with Erik Duvefjärd and David Jason Benton
Hössle. I feel like Erik might be like Norwegian or something.
Yeah, well, they both
Swedish,
have the little, what do you call that?
Because they have
they're not tildes.
It's not an umlaut. That's different, right?
An umlaut?
Umlaut?
Cum laude?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
My roommate in college was from Sweden, so these look Swedish, but that might not be right.
Welcome to those guys, and I sorely apologize if I mispronounced.
We probably did. We got the first names right, Erik and David.
Yes, but if you want to support the channel and get some cool rewards like early access, shout-outs in the lives, shout-outs in the videos, and of course free plans, you can go check it out at fixthisbuild.com/Builders Club. And thank you again to those guys for joining. All right, so who do we have out here?
Who's here? Travis is here.
Travis was early, man. Rolling in at 8:47.
Early.
Love it.
We were still dealing with kids at that time.
Bro Verone, how's it going? He's asking for some garage cabinet plans, joiner recommendations. We'll get to that in just a minute. Ryan Matthews, how's it going? And we got Will. What's up, Big Will?
Hey, Will.
Brian Farnth, James McIntyre, JD Creations, and Mark Handy, Colin Arledge, I want to say Aldridge, Arledge, and Alan Isaac. What is up, guys? Howdy. None of the ladies are in the house yet, so we can just say guys. What's up, guys?
Except for me.
Except for this.
I mean, I don't count.
Fine
I'm sitting right next to
here.
him. Sorry. I feel like I had to sneeze, then I feel like I had to cough. Sorry. Just spray the germs everywhere. Yes. It's just the two of us.
Yeah. So so that's what was going on this week. We're going to this coming week we are going to be working on a few different blog posts and things. I have a few little things I'm going to be wrapping up. So there'll be stuff on the website, not necessarily the YouTube channel, for this next coming week. But I'm going to be doing an open air computer rig build. Yes.
You could have a whole separate live.
I would love to.
On Bitcoin mining stuff, computer building.
Yes, computer building.
I don't
know what Bitcoin mining is.
You don't know about Bitcoin mining? Okay. Computer building.
But that, doing some outlet replacement, what were some of the other things we were doing?
Oh gosh, what were we I lost track. We had different ideas.
We had all kinds of stuff.
So we're going to replace, because the feature wall.
The feature wall had the white outlet on it, and we're going to be making. I found a gray one that is like the perfect match.
It's so nice. Yeah, that'll look good.
Yeah, and so anyway, those will be coming on there, and then we are looking at. We just got through talking for a long time about office renovation.
Oh my gosh,
it's going to be amazing. You guys have never you've seen a glimpse of my office and that kind of over the shoulder shot of me at the computer a few times, but you've not seen the rest of it, and there's a reason for that. It is disgusting.
I mean,
it is so disorganized.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to build some cabinets down there. It's kind of an odd shaped room because it's got a bump out for a bathroom that's next to it. So it's like a regular shaped room with a rectangular bump out in it. And so I'm going to be doing some cabinetry, and I think we're going to do like double corners, so like an office, and it's got 2 caddy corner windows because it's at the corner of the house.
Right.
So it's kind of a very odd shaped room and odd situated room. But yeah, cool things to come for that. So
it can only get better, honestly.
Again, yeah.
Like we can only go up from
floating
here.
Shelves.
Yeah.
And I hope to cap it off with a really cool desk build.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to that.
That's future. But
I mean, that's going to be
it's going to be the kickoff.
Game changing, I feel like. It'll just be nice.
We're gonna dig into it.
Are you going to talk about the other thing that's going to happen in our world?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, that's a teaser. Maybe
But,
next week or the
one
week
thing I will
after.
tell you before we jump in is the beer of the week, because I want to drink some beer.
I've been looking forward to this one.
We've got Kitten Mittens.
Kitten Mittens, people.
Winter Ale from Kulshan
How
Brewing.
cute it is.
Courtesy
Kitten
of
Mittens.
Scott Orm.
With the little.
That is yourself DIY. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, we looked up Kulshan. They're like in
Bellingham, Washington.
There we go.
It says it right there.
Sorry, I was behind. Ooh.
All good.
All right.
Winter Ale. This is us.
Ooh.
This is 8.
It's like
ABV.
Christmas in July here.
Oh wow.
Did you say 8%?
I did say 8%.
Oh my word, that's a solid
That's heavy.
beer.
Man. That's
Made
like,
with pride by the hardworking men and women of the Kulshan Brewing Company.
It's very notes of coffee. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I don't really like coffee.
No, you don't. I like it, but I don't drink
I'll
it.
give that a thumb middle. I won't give it a thumb down. but I'll
Warming
give it a thumb
ale.
middle.
I could
right.
see this being good in the winter, though. It's like a hearty beer.
Yes.
It's very full-bodied.
All right, let us jump. Oh, let me get off here. Let us jump in now. What is up, guys? Thomas, just fire off those questions, Thomas.
Yep.
Shaker cabinet noise, your joinery recommendation. I'll hit your first one. Shaker, he's talking about building some shaker cabinets, and he's talking about joinery recommendation.
Oh, yep.
I like just the standard old mortise and tenon, and a stub tenon or not mortise and tenon, but tongue and groove. I like the tongue and groove. So you do grooves on the rails. I always forget. Is it rails and stiles, or is it stiles and rails? I think it's rails and stiles. So on the verticals, you do a groove in all of the pieces around, and then you do mortises on the rails that go into it. So the groove will hold the panel, and then it also holds the tenon that's on the stiles. So that's my preferred way. I've not made many of those. I have made a few, and that's the way I did it, because you can do it very easily with the table saw. You can also get, like a cope and stick style router table. It's called cope and stick.
I thought you were going to say Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Just run your chaw through the table saw.
Throw a little dip in. But yeah, that's the way I would do it. That's the way I do it, is just a simple tongue and groove, because it's nice and easy. But if you want to get a little bit more complicated, a little more fancy, you have router table options as well.
You can do that. You can get as fancy as you want to be.
Yeah. All right. I know, Brian, it has been a while. Sorry. JD just got out of Facebook jail.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Colin does make it back. Love it, Colin. Phase Light is in the house. What's up, man? Sorry, missed you. Jonathan Arises popping in quick. What's up, my man?
Hey,
Mark
Jonathan.
Handy. We always talk about woodworking. We just supplement
Usually.
it with other nonsense.
Whatever we get into.
Have I ever been in Facebook jail? I have not. I assume you're saying
what?
Facebook jail.
Oh, yeah, what is that?
I assume you're being
Was
like
that JD
banned or
talking
blocked
about
or
that?
something.
Oh, what did you do?
I have been banned. I've been blocked in Instagram before.
Why?
Because they're like they used to do. They have all these measures in place to try to detect spam.
Okay.
And one of the things was like if you commented too much, they'd be like, "Ooh, you're spamming the comments." But what they didn't factor in was replying to your own comments.
Oh,
so I got
this
banned.
This was a while ago, then.
It was,
right? Yeah.
Because I got banned for like replying to all my back when I was just like I was posting a couple times a day and like I was replying to just like
everybody,
literally hundreds of comments like in an hour, and they're like, "Oh, you've commented too much," and I'm like, "It's my channel."
But I could kind of see like that they were trying to be.
Yeah, no, I get it because that's what people will go through and like follow like whatever, tell people. But
a couple of years.
That's the only time that ever happened to me, JD. But it was only like a few hours, I think.
Oh, that's good. You weren't in jail too long.
No.
Well, a couple of years ago, I was on Twitter. I'm on Twitter more now. I always just read. I never post anything. But I would always get on there whenever the weather was looking bad here, because we have like our local Nashville severe weather people, and they break it down to the nth degree when it comes to like tornadoes and things like that. And I think a couple of years ago, they had to be so careful to only post when they were like strategically, because like bad, horrible, life-threatening weather would be coming in. But if they posted too much, even though they really needed to, they would get blocked by Twitter or shut down. Yeah, but like everyone was watching and relying. But I think they've kind of figured that all
ridiculous.
out.
But yeah.
So yeah, well that's good. I'm glad you're out of Facebook jail.
Phase Light. Thinking about starting a wood biz for some side work. Wouldn't be everyday job. Would I file for LLC, sole proprietorship, or something else?
Wow.
Phase Light, that is very... Don't ever take advice from anybody who
I think you're going to say from me.
No, well, yeah, from me.
We have definitely had this conversation now.
If you live in Tennessee, I could give you some decent advice. If you live anywhere else, don't take advice from anybody that's not there and who hasn't done it and doesn't know what they're talking about. Because it is very different. There's a lot of blanket advice out there, but it can be and is very different by state and even potentially by county. So that being said, in general, it is better to, in general, for most states in most areas, but not all, and I am in one state, Tennessee, that this does not apply, it makes sense to become an LLC pretty quickly, and also to file as an S-Corp. Again, this is not financial advice or any type of advice that you should take, but I'm just telling you what I know and have heard.
This is for informational purposes only.
Right, because there are some tax advantages that you can take as an S-Corp, including paying yourself dividends versus earning a salary, and the dividends get taxed at a lower rate, as well as you can then take advantage of some of the tax savings from being a sole proprietor and being double taxed. And there's just a lot of taxation benefits, as well as the QB... what is it? Something the QB 199, QB 199. I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't remember the acronym for it, but it's something 199. But it's basically a small business tax deduction where you can deduct like 25% of your earnings as a deduction, which is amazing. So, or it might be 20%. So my advice would be go talk to a tax attorney in your area, not just on the internet. So hope that helps.
Yeah, but good luck with that.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, but it is. And so just for me personally, I was a sole proprietor for many years because the hurdle rate is much higher in Tennessee because you're not taxed. We don't have state income tax, but as soon as you become an LLC, you get charged 6% business tax. And so you have to do that whole math about when it makes sense. Because if I had to just become a LLC making $40,000, like I would be paying more for like the license and all that, because there's a lot of fees that go into it, plus getting taxed a lot more. Like it just wouldn't make sense.
Local and everything. Yeah.
There was no tax benefit until you reach a certain threshold.
Right.
Here in Tennessee.
It's so complicated. I mean, if you know anyone that is a tax professional or like you said, a tax attorney, is that right?
Tax attorney is a thing.
Then I think there's like a better name for it. Then it's definitely worth the conversation.
It's like, it sounds too much like taxidermy.
I was just thinking that. Like we're not
if you know anybody that
stuffing
stuffs animals
here. Don't talk to them
Don't
about
take
this.
advice from a taxidermist.
No.
Oh, that's a good time. Don't take advice from a taxidermist.
There you go.
I don't have my little thing. Just remember that.
Not prepared. We're not prepared.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Travis saw the video today, much needed since he's only got half of a 2-car garage. Oh goodness, yes, you need to do that. Will, it's not anything woodworking. It won't be exciting. The big news is not going to be exciting to anybody except for us, unless you like cute things.
Yeah.
Tom, sorry,
it's going to be very exciting for
us.
How
about pocket hole joints? Tom, I wouldn't recommend pocket hole joints because it's a door, and
you'll see it.
If you're going to paint it, the door and you do pocket holes on the frame and then you plug them, fill them, and sand them so that you can't tell that they're there, yeah, go for it. But I personally don't like the look of open pocket holes. I don't want to see the pocket holes, and I don't want to see them even if they're plugged and filled, because it's just, I like continuity, and I like things that look nice.
Clean lines.
So from a joinery method, yeah, it's great, but it's more of a visual thing for me. because that's a perfect application for pocket holes. And like, because that's basically the same thing as like making a face frame, except it's just, yeah. So if you fill them and paint it, sure, pocket holes would be great. And I know, there's a lot of people that do that. Tyrone Pelfrey, what's up, my man? And Husky 1213 from South Carolina. All right. JD. Yeah, don't tell anybody to shoot off fireworks in the garage. That's hilarious.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there you go. Brian Farth hit it on the head. Just what I was saying. So did Mark. Spraying them or rolling them with an epoxy paint called Durapoxy. Never heard of that.
Check that out.
We just had our cabinets painted in our kitchen. So this was something that we talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
You've not seen anything about it. You won't see anything about it until I do another video in the kitchen, and then you'll see it. I don't know. I might actually post about it on Instagram just because I think it would be. Yeah. I'm sure I've got some good before.
Feelings.
Oh, people.
You should put
I'll
the
get torn
before.
up.
I have a before.
Okay.
I mean, it's way
so
before. But
we had. I know. Brace yourself. We had cherry cabinets before.
But they're not.
And we painted them
white
white.
Cherry. They were stripy.
So I held down the fort for 7-8 years.
And I liked them too.
Because she wanted to paint them from like.
No, I did not. We both
you didn't
said we
let
liked
me
them.
finish.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
She wanted to paint them like 2 or 3 years in, and I was like, nope, not gonna do it. Never gonna do it. Won't happen.
I'm a woodworker. We're not painting cabinets.
And then it just did start, because what happened is like they made these cherry cabinets, but it was like total production. So there were literally like super dark cherry, and I think it was also they as they got darker with time, it got worse.
Yeah.
Super dark cherry.
Because our house is probably like 15 years old.
And then sapwood. So it was multiple strips. So there's probably there were probably 1.5 strips.
Yeah.
So you might have had 8 different strips in one cabinet door, and they were raised panel, which looked nice, but it was like.
But some doors were okay, and then other ones were like zebras. I mean, they really had a lot of contrast. So.
Right.
It was a lot.
It's pretty nasty. And I was just like, no, they're cherry. And so then after about 5 years, I was like, okay, fine. Let's do it. And it was not only that, it was because of the countertops, and we changed our countertops, and then, we just wanted a lighter kitchen. But anyway.
Right. Just, it was time for a change.
Yeah. My point here is we just had that painted, and they used,
it's right over there.
They used a paint by Benjamin Moore that was
it was
Command.
like specially made for, they said that people
acrylic
all
paint.
What?
It's acrylic paint.
It's acrylic paint.
Okay,
go grab it. Yeah. And we did not do this ourselves, which was fantastic.
Did I say Command? What did I say?
Yeah, that one. I don't remember what you said. I don't think I heard you.
I think so. So this is what they used.
Yep.
Here, which is Benjamin Moore Corotech High Performance Command. So, I'm just showing you what they used. I've not had experience with this, but they paint lots of kitchen cabinets. And it is a waterborne acrylic urethane.
Yeah.
So that is, I've always heard like an acrylic paint versus a latex paint, that this is much more durable. And so this is what they painted the kitchen cabinets with. So, phase light, if you're thinking about painting, that might be something to look into. Again, do your own research.
3 days in, it's holding up great.
Yeah.
No major
issues.
issues.
Traffic ready in 24 hours.
I know, that's crazy.
That is.
But, it is. And they sprayed the doors and door fronts.
Listen to this. So listen to this. Dries to the touch in 15 minutes. Traffic ready in 24 hours. Flexible, resists cracking and peeling. And fast tack free. I mean, that's like, those are all amazing things for.
I bet it's expensive.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I mean, we, didn't pay for it. We paid for it. We don't know
how
much
we paid for it.
We don't know how much we paid for it. We just paid the whole bill.
But it looks great.
It does look good.
They did a good job.
It's like a whole new kitchen now, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you see Ryan said he likes how you labeled your red squares?
Yeah. So if you guys have seen the video, the sponsor for the video was a brother, and one of the requirements of the contract, and it's really interesting working with sponsors. It's always very interesting to see how some of them are like very, I won't say loose, but just like, do your videos like you do you, and like whatever,
just mention
we'll
us,
roll with
like,
it.
Yeah.
And then and it's typically the larger companies, because the larger companies that have legal teams that are like, do not show any other logos, because technically if you're showing another logo without their written permission, they could ask you to take down the content, which is true.
Right. Sorry,
Because I'm producing a commercial product,
right.
which is not just, me on my Instagram or whatever, but, or, some hobby person just showing their own cabinets or whatever, and tools. So they asked to cover that stuff up, and I was like, and so I was like thinking of a funny way to do it, and I was like,
right.
and it was the labeling, and so I put the 3 different the 3 different squares. I did baby bear, mama bear, and papa bear.
Yeah, well, and then on the Dremel, you put, what did you put? Spinning thingy or something? So
I did, and and there was like a few that we left in there, and I was like, I don't want to, like the Craig thing. I was like, I'm not going to cover that up
because they are a sponsor of the channel,
right?
So
and
we do have
there was
written
too much
permission
of it
from them, yeah.
And then they didn't even say anything, so
which
I could have probably left those.
I do feel like I was like my main job. I felt like, and whether it was annoying to you or not, was I would go around in every shot and make sure all the labels were covered.
Spinning labels.
Because, you change the scene and like you change the angle and suddenly you can see things you didn't see a minute ago. And that's the kind of stuff that we'll just get going. And then afterward in like the edit, you're like,
oh, and you're like, oh,
like you just want to reach in the screen and change it, but you can't. So it's really good, actually. I thought it was a good video.
Let's see here. Phase Light lives in Florida, have a shady New Jersey tax guy.
Oh, gosh. That sounds interesting. That does all the first responders in this area.
Sole proprietor with a Schedule C is what I did for many years. So that's not
maybe
like
that'll
a bad
help
thing.
you feel better about it. I don't know.
Big Willie says you're getting a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We're very excited.
Painting or rolling. Oh, Mark, painting or rolling or spraying. So interestingly enough, the cabinets that we had, they rolled the cabinets and then
the base, like the frames,
the actual cabinets, and then sprayed the doors.
Yeah, like the carcasses.
So my advice there would be, it depends upon what you're doing. If you're building them new, I would spray everything because you can take those outside or take them in a controlled area. If you're painting them in place, which is what we were doing, obviously, then, and our neighbors just did this, so we saw it in action. If you're doing that, you're committing to basically having somebody spraying all in your house. So that includes a whole lot more prep, a whole lot more masking.
It includes not having access to your kitchen.
And a whole lot more
the whole week. Like
hassle because
you can't walk in there.
Right, because you're like, hey, you can't be going in there. And
because it's all tented off and everything. Yeah.
Versus rolling, they still did it. They just masked, but not like, if you're spraying, you have to cover everything in plastic, right? Like basically tint off the area.
Yeah.
And with rolling, it's just like painting anything else. Like they just taped the edges and then rolled and used like a low nap roller. And, there is like, it definitely has like a
little bit of texture
look to it
but
versus
not,
like glass smooth.
Right. But we're never going to get that close to it. Like we were inspecting it afterward and we were like, we did find a couple spots where we thought it went on a little heavy. And we told them they were wonderful to work with, the people that we worked with, which was great. I mean, they were wonderful. They were like great to have in our house. It was all really good. So they were like, oh, no problem. And they just fixed it really. It was great. It was easy. So that whole process was great. If you're going to have everything sprayed, which is what we originally thought we would do, because we thought, oh, we'll get the best results that way. We can live with being out of our kitchen for a week, although that would have been hard. Yes. The thing is, you have to have the right setup in your house for it. So our shop is our garage. So there is nowhere, no one can come out here and do anything.
Our neighbors, they actually sprayed in their garage.
They had what did they have in the garage?
I don't know.
They had the all of the paint, all the when they were pouring the paint into the sprayer. Everything was in the. They needed a place to have it all.
You're not going in my house ever.
Right. There would be nowhere for them to do it.
So they didn't.
So anyway, but it was really good, and we did think about doing it ourselves for about a minute.
Yeah. And then I was like,
thankfully, Brad was like, I don't think this video would do very well. I'm like, yes, that means we can hire it out. It would have taken us a lot longer than it took them.
Yeah.
They were like machines.
Yeah, James, I've never used acrylic myself, and I really want to. Now that we have this, I'll probably use
Maybe the next thing we spray,
I know. I want to check it out because the finish that it turned out on the cabinets looks awesome, and it dried so fast.
Well,
I bet spraying it would be really nice.
We still might, at some point in the future, rebuild the island. Like you were talking about taking the top off and just building it a little differently, and then putting it back on, and we would spray that. So that might be a possibility.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
I like it.
To be continued.
Yeah, Tom, check that one. Check that paint out. It's good.
Yeah.
Ryan, what is my favorite tool brand?
Oh gosh, that's a big question. I feel like it really depends on the tool you're talking about.
That's a very overarching question because there's a lot. Like I don't have a quote unquote favorite tool brand.
What's your favorite tool in the shop? What's your favorite power tool in the shop?
Well, my stock answer on that one's always the table saw, just because it touches almost every project, and it just, it's like when you get started woodworking, the table saw, for me at least, like when I started woodworking, I jumped straight into a contractor saw, like a cast iron, so I didn't get a benchtop one first.
Why was that?
Because they were just like, it seemed too flimsy, and I was like, I want to like jump in and like get it, but I didn't have enough money for a cabinet saw, so like getting that.
What's a cabinet saw? Sorry.
That's a cabinet saw.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's like 3 levels. There's like contractor saw. There's benchtop or job site saws.
Okay.
Which are like the ones that you
put on like a stand or whatever.
Yeah. And then the next stage is like a contractor saw, which then there's also like the hybrid. So I guess there's really 4. There's contractor saws, which are typically like a motor hanging off the back with a pulley that's driving that. So it's a belt-driven arbor versus a direct drive of the benchtop. And then the hybrid saws are like, then you have cabinet saws up on the top, and that's all about more power. And then the trunnion is attached to the cabinet versus the top on a contractor saw. And the trunnion is basically the miter. So the arbor.
The miter or the motor?
The arbor. Neither. Miter, miter.
And I feel like we've had this conversation, but a trunnion just sounds like a funyun to me.
No, the trunnion. Yeah. So the way the table saw works, in general, you have an arbor, which is basically the shaft that the table saw blade goes on. That gets connected down to some pulleys that is connected to the motor. The motor spins the pulleys, which spins the blade.
The knee bone's connected to that.
And the trunnion is the thing that makes the arbor go up and down and swing left and right for miters.
Pretty important.
So the way that attaches to the saw is the main difference between a contractor saw and a cabinet saw, other than the obvious cabinet. And then a hybrid saw is kind of halfway in between because they also attach to the cabinet, but they're like lighter duty. Anyway, so table saw.
So you had a contractor saw because you wanted to skip the benchtop. But you probably got it, I'm guessing, like on Craigslist back in the day. You bought it full price?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say.
20% off, 25% off, 20% off at Lowe's. It was $500, got it for $400.
Nice.
Yeah, Delta.
I'm impressed though, especially that long ago when you were like a lot younger.
That's why that's what I'm telling you, I wanted it.
When he wants it, he'll spend money.
That's right.
That's
Yes.
good.
And like cordless power tools, if I had to go with one brand.
You've been really into Milwaukee lately, haven't you? Or is that DeWalt that I'm seeing?
Well, see, I mean, I'm like almost split right down the middle between DeWalt and Milwaukee,
like picking
honestly.
your favorite child.
Right. Yeah, I would, I don't know. I would maybe go with Milwaukee. Just because, and the reason I say that is because I love their brad nailer. Their 18-volt brad nailer is amazing, as well as their 12-volt surge. Those are both amazing. But DeWalt has really good drills.
Right. So. You have like a whole legion of
I've got 5 DeWalt drills up there
right now. I would say that like...
And they're single-handed...
and they're quiet, right?
Their single-handed recip saw. If you guys... when those first came out, so if you don't know, I'm going to go grab it. This is going to be show and tell.
And the shop is so organized right now. We know where everything is. Oh, yeah, that was...
This little guy.
You just used that recently, didn't you?
I know. That's why it was out there.
Oh.
All right.
Well, yes.
So this little guy, if you've not... When these first came out, I was like a huge skeptic. I was like, this is so stupid. Like, why would you need this versus the full size? So this is a recip saw.
So what was the full size? You had to do 2 hands on it? You said
full size is that one, right?
single-handed. Okay, he's going to have to go get it for comparison's sake.
But, you know what I mean?
That does look a lot bigger.
You guys know.
Oh, yeah.
What these look like, right? If you've ever seen a recip saw, you know what they look like.
Oh, yeah, because you got to be like...
Right. So At
This
first,
is heavy.
it is. It's heavy because, like, you know, when
This is
when
fun.
you're chopping through stuff,
Lightweight.
you know, this is like this is hard to control with one hand. I mean,
I like
you
how
can
you
do
took the
it,
blade
but
out for safety's sake.
I did because I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to grab it and she's going to try to saw my arm off.
Sorry.
But I tell you what, as soon as I got one of these I would have one of these and not one of these all day, because you can do the two-handed like here
Yeah.
and kind of go through it. You don't really need, so this rigid one, the one awesome thing about this rigid one is it has this orbital selector.
Oh,
Well,
what does
that's
that
funny.
do?
It was like halfway in between. I wonder what that was.
What have you been doing all these years?
So if you have a jigsaw, you know it's got the kind of like straight up and down all the way to a like 3 degrees of orbit, typically 3 or 4. This one has orbital, so it cuts a lot faster. I do really like that option. But this little dude.
So if you
it's
had to
just-
pick one, it would be this one, though.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would. But it's so easy to use with one hand. And like I've done plumbing repairs, just rough chopping down lumber. Like I was just breaking down some pallets and stuff. I would definitely get one of these. So if you've been thinking about getting a recip saw and you've been seeing these little guys,
So what's the
Highly
price
recommend.
comparison?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I am so bad. I mean, I guess that's one of the downsides of, I mean, it's a plus. Is
Here,
that
let me look it up.
most of the tools I get are free from the prospective review, because I've been part of the
Oh,
Home
that's
Depot
right.
prospective review, and that's, you know, I don't have that many. So I already had tools, and then they basically just upgraded to the tools. And so I have kind of lost a little bit of touch on that, because I just so I would still have lost touch on that even if I didn't get those free ones, because I already had bought everything.
Right, you had
and
a
then
lot.
I just upgraded to the newer versions, but I honestly have no idea.
Is that it?
Well, that's like a type of it, but it's like, I don't know what they are, but the smaller one's probably a little bit cheaper, but actually probably not much.
Oh man, they really make you work to find this information.
They do. Let's see, what else do we have? Opinion on, oh, right, so that's a good little segue there. Ryan, opinion on Ryobi. I think Ryobis are great for entry. They're great for what they are. They're a great entry level tool. They have come a long way, very long way from where they were, you know, even 5 years ago. And one of the things that I love the most about Ryobi is they have hundreds
Oh my gosh, honey.
of different.
Oh, that's 3 tools.
No,
Okay.
that's- you're
continue.
crazy.
Continue.
They have
I
they
was
have hundreds
horrified.
of different tools in that 18 volt 1 Plus lineup, and like some
Yeah.
like they're like all these little crafty.
I mean,
When I say crafty, I don't mean like
but
with
some of them
popsicle
are
sticks,
like
but I
will
mean like clever.
Like when I was teaching a couple of years ago, I went back to teaching for a year, and then I joined him in the business. And
That's it right
a lot of teachers use hot glue guns to put their posters and stuff on those cinder block walls, which that was not what we did back in the day. And they would have these extension cords going, and then this one cool teacher had the Ryobi cordless hot glue gun,
That
and
thing's
it
a
was
beast.
like
I've
everybody
got
was
that.
borrowing it. It was a game changer. And then we have that one that inflates all
It's
the pool
awesome.
toys.
Inflators.
It's awesome.
So
Yeah.
I think they're like I said, they're good
They
for
have
what
a
they
tool
are.
for everything.
If you're a hobbyist, you probably won't ever need more than it can give you.
Or if you're just starting out and you don't want to break the
And they're
bank,
inexpensive.
right?
But if you're like using them every day, all day, they're going to wear out faster than higher quality tools,
Right.
higher price tools, because of the way that they're made. Like they'll have more plastic parts in the internals
Right.
than
brings that cost
than
down.
other ones, as well as like the chuck. Like a great example is like if you look at 2 drills, like a drill with a metal chuck versus a plastic chuck, keyless chuck on the end, stuff like that. By the way, this thing is as expensive as all get out.
Yeah, it is.
Apparently, this is $269,
I mean,
and
so
a regular
maybe save
recip
up for
saw
that.
is actually like $220. So
well, it's not
you're
that big
paying
of a
for the down.
difference.
Well, it's not, but that's not cheap.
I mean, it's not, but I thought you were going to say a regular one was like,
I personally would not.
150 or
I personally
something.
would not spend $270. As much as I said I love this, I would not pay $270.
not
for
that you
this.
have the money. Just
Now
walking
that I know,
that back.
yeah. So
That's funny.
yeah, because I'm cheap. So
Yeah. If you
that's
can
how
get it
works.
secondhand, maybe go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I would buy it used. Phasite friend just started a renovation business in Nashville and Hendersonville. Cool.
Oh,
Welch
neat.
Construction. The one-handed recip saw for work. There you go. Vehicle extractions. Bad car crashes.
Oh gosh.
That would be good for that because it's small. It can get into good places.
Yeah, for sure.
Tyrone, Milwaukee does make good Sawzalls. That is their brand name. Sawzall is actually the Milwaukee brand name.
But do people just call that for everything now? It's like
because they're like the original. They made the original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
or
calling
at least
Sawzall.
I don't know if it was the absolute original. I think it was, but
they're the first one that branded it.
Came to market. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
T-Hub. Taylor, I got
the whole video.
13 tips for you. Go watch it. It was really funny. I was like, when I'm doing the intro, I was like, I've got 13 tips. And I was like,
you don't have enough fingers.
Yeah. Chris, our editor, he had one. He's
a thumbnail he's talking
about.
I
love Chris because he's so
creative.
A great sense of humor, and he's super creative. And we had talked about, we always talk about like funny things for thumbnails or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had one, like I had my hands up there, I was doing something, and he like took the screen grab, and then he like added like one extra finger on one hand and two extra fingers on the other hand.
And Brad showed me 4 thumbnails, and he's like, well, which one do you like? And I'm looking, and I was like, oh, I like this one. And it took me a little bit to realize that you had 13 fingers going, and then it was really funny.
Yeah. But that's when I knew it wasn't probably a good one.
Right, it wasn't good for scrolling. Somebody
long.
Wouldn't have, unless you had them like highlighted or something. Yes. But yeah, it was a good video.
Tom, can you see what can see what you like about the Milwaukee? Rigid impact drive size is challenging. Yes, 100%.
Have they gotten smaller though?
They have. They have. Rigid, so that was my biggest knock on Rigid. I was with Rigid as a sponsor of the channel for many years. And
you still have a lot of Rigid tools that you love.
I still recommend their stuff, especially with the lifetime service agreement on the batteries.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is an industry leading thing. Nobody else does it. That I know of. There might be some more people doing it now, but anyway, I still use their jigsaw is great. The cordless jigsaw, the cordless.
We're just staring at all the tools.
Yeah, I'm just looking. The cordless router, the palm router.
Yeah.
The Job Max, their little oscillating tool is fantastic. Or not, what do you call it? Multi-tool.
You're not going to bring them all over here and put them on display.
Yeah. And their circ saw, planer. Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of great tools, but their drills are huge. They used to, like the Gen 5X, when everybody else was going smaller, they were going bigger. And I was like, guys, you've got to go smaller.
And then they did, right?
And then they did.
Yeah,
I mean, they were late to the game, but they got there.
They got there.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
Ryobi now has 225 tools. That's insane.
Wow, that is a lot.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Like we have the speakers. I don't think they sell them anymore, but the speakers,
we use those.
Called,
are those Ryobi? They are, aren't they?
They're called they were like basically trying to match. It was like the weirdest thing because they made these like super high quality speakers. They were like supposed to rival Sonos, and they do. They're
really nice.
Great sound quality.
We use them in the kids' rooms.
What are they? I forget what they're called, but anyway, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
and they run off the
so
battery,
handy.
but you can also plug them in. I think.
Yeah, no, Ryobi, like,
really nice.
One chick that I follow, I show you her stuff all the time. She, like, oh my gosh, she, like, does so much stuff and builds things, and it's impressive. And she has a lot of Ryobi, but it's her birthday, and her husband bought her 3 huge DeWalt tools, and she was so excited. But I feel like that kind of says it, like, she's getting into, like, bigger and bigger projects, and she's upgrading her tools. And that's kind of what a lot of people might wind up doing, but
like a Ryobi miter saw. It's not going to be as accurate as a DeWalt. It's just not.
But it's less money, I'm sure. Yeah, and
I mean,
if that helps you get in the gate, then I feel comfortable.
You can get in. It's not going to be quite as accurate, and it's not going to hold up as well. But you can make a lot of cool stuff with it.
For sure. Yeah.
T-Hub, new M18 fuels just got some of those. Nice.
Cool.
Oh, kind of a funky feel. Oh, that's no good.
Oh no.
So toned down compared to the M12, it feels like an underpowered set.
Oh, weird. I wonder if it's like conserving more energy or something.
You know what? I don't know if how they do it.
Milwaukee?
Yeah. Because I've got the M12 and I love them. Mm-hmm. The one tools that I'm really interested in seeing, I've not seen them in person, are the new Flex line, which is, I don't know, and somebody comment if you know, I don't know if that's what Lowe's is now using as their Cobalt. They used to have the Cobalt brand.
Oh, I do remember Cobalt.
I think they've pitched Cobalt and now it's Flex. I think. I'm not 100% positive on that. But I know Flex is exclusive to Lowe's.
What's exclusive
And
to Home Depot?
Rigid.
Oh, is it Rigid? Yeah.
Rigid
I knew
and
that.
Ryobi.
Okay, gotcha.
And but Flex.
And Ryobi. Oh, I didn't.
But
don't think I
Flex
knew that.
is the same company. It's
Ethos? No. Is it them or no? Is that a different one? The EOS?
what?
I don't know. The ones that are all. Never mind.
Ego.
Ego.
Yes.
Is it
but
the same one?
Shervon. The company's called Shervon.
Never mind. Yes.
And that's
heard of
the
that.
parent company, and they are the same people that make Ego yard tools
I was right.
as well. Very good.
Kind of. I didn't say it right.
Ego, but they also make Skill,
Oh.
and they also make Skill Saw. So
So-
like the cordless Skill Saw. So, and they're really good at battery technology. And some of those tests and stuff I'm seeing with those Flex things are like crazy. Like I saw Kyle Stumpenhorst from our builders, and he was doing some stuff, and it was like they were insane. Like
Oh,
they were
wow.
he was driving screws like
Wow.
it was like whoa.
Now, okay, who makes Ryobi? Is Ryobi just owned by Ryobi, or are they owned by
No,
Rigid?
it's TTI.
Like, how many tool companies
There's
are
not
there
that
out
many.
there?
There's
Because it sounds like so many
There's a
people
lot of
own like different
consolidation.
lines.
They do. There's a lot. So there's really not many out there. There's about 4 main ones. So like
Wow.
Stanley Black & Decker, I think that's the parent company, owns DeWalt, Stanley,
Oh.
and Craftsman.
Black & Decker takes me back to my childhood.
Yes. And then TTI owns Milwaukee, Rigid, and Ryobi.
Oh, wow.
But Ryobi and Rigid are under a different line than Milwaukee. So they're not the same. They're
So
very,
they,
very
like,
different.
They're owned by the same one, but they have completely different
Correct.
everything.
Not like, and I don't know how those other two work, but, and then Shervon has Skill and those. I'm trying to think of the other big
gosh,
ones.
that's crazy.
Makita's on their own.
Okay.
Bosch is on their own.
Yeah.
But
What
Bosch
else
owns
yeah.
several. So it's like there's been a lot of consolidation.
Which isn't. I mean, although they all seem pretty competitive still. Everyone's trying to have like.
Makita doesn't really care about the consumer. They're huge in commercial.
Oh.
I mean, not that they don't care about the consumer, but they're not focused on the
They're
consumer.
like more like job site stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Bosch.
Well,
Bosch
I
is
feel
like huge
Rigid
for
was
like
getting
concrete.
into that, right? They were getting
They're trying
into
to.
more
Rigid's
job
going the other way.
site.
Like Rigid's all consumer, and they're trying to go commercial.
Right. Are they still doing that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
All right. What else?
Hopefully, you guys were interested in power tools.
That was.
And their
yeah.
origin story. It was like
There
the
you go.
Marvel series of the
Ooh.
Marvel story. Yes,
Black Widow. Did anybody go
would.
see Black Widow? We went and saw it in the movie theater. I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
it was great.
Even though it was like highly anticipated because it's like we've been waiting on
Oh my
that for like
gosh.
a year and a half.
Yeah.
We're huge Marvel fans though,
Yep.
and we won't spoil anything.
No.
Only to say
It was
very
good. It was so
We
good.
enjoyed it. We enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was great. It was worth seeing.
Isaac, thanks for showing up, man. It's all right. It's all right if you're late. No
Yeah. Never.
biggie.
I'm
Driving
not gonna get a demerit.
a Honda is perfectly fine, but wouldn't you rather drive a luxury car? That's true.
I mean,
Why not?
who wouldn't?
Eli wants to know if I ever turned my own baseball bat. Eli, I have not
Oh.
turned my own baseball bat, but I have turned my own soda pop opener, Eli.
Almost the same thing as a baseball bat.
So, right. I could probably hit, if I, especially maybe turn it around,
Oh my
I
gosh.
could do some mini baseballs.
Mini baseball. Did you ever have one of the mini Louisville
I never
Sluggers?
had one of those, but
I
I've seen
did,
them, yeah.
because we went to the tour when I was in high school. It was
and
so cool.
my own, so it's way over there. But no, I'm trying to think if I had turned anything that's like more utilitarian.
I don't know.
Pin, yeah. No, I've not turned anything that cool, Eli. I'm sorry.
Disappointing.
Sorry to disappoint. Only
Oh,
Silly
that'd be
things.
so cool though. Yeah.
have to deal with drinks. Phase Light, do I use epoxy often, mainly deep pours? If so, what brand?
Oh,
Using
gosh.
FGCI. Just wondering if there's a cheaper option. I don't know what FGCI is. Never heard of that.
You don't do a lot of deep pours anymore, right?
No, I've only done a few.
Yeah.
I mainly do inlays, and so I use Total Boat. I like their high performance 2-to-1. They are a sponsor of the channel.
Yep.
I'm sure there are other great options out there. I'm very happy with theirs though.
Yeah.
I've not actually used their deep. Did I use their deep?
I think you might.
I think I did use
I
it.
feel like we might have. They're
But I
really good
didn't
with
use
like
it-
customer support
I've only done one
and
deep pour.
figuring out what's the right one for
Yeah.
you, and so
But
it's
I've only
been great
done
for us.
one deep pour, and it was the miter waterfall
Yes.
table. and I used
Which was anxiety ridden.
it was.
But it turned out great.
I used Ecopox. By the way, whatever happened to Ecopoxy? I feel like they just dropped off the face of the earth.
I don't know.
Everybody decided, like Jeff Mack and those guys decided to, Jeff Mack and then Black Forest, like made their own epoxies, and we're like, yeah, we can do this
Black
too.
Forest has their own?
Yeah.
Are they
like
still
their
doing
own.
a bunch of? I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, they're just doing their own stuff.
Just cruising.
But anyway, they were like the original. Like they're the ones that blew everything up because Black Forest was using them, and then
Yeah. How long
and Jeff
ago
Mack
was
was
that?
using
Isn't
them.
it crazy? Like that's probably like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
Maybe longer.
it was
But
2018,
doesn't
I
that
think.
feel? Oh gosh, okay, that was a little while. But it
That's
just
years.
is amazing, like how that peaked, like the whole river table thing, and you'll still see them, and you'll still see people making them
Yeah.
sometime. Like John just made one; it was really cool.
They're like something super long.
But for a while there, like everybody was making a
Yeah,
river table.
but anyway, so I used like it was back. I haven't made one since like 2018. Are you kidding me? Blew through yours? Wow, this is
he always
role reversal.
I know. I feel like I need to explain this. I was so proud of myself. He always drinks faster than me on like any beverage. I'm the slowest ever. And so, hey, I'll take a
Yes.
sip of yours for once.
Yeah. So, but the Total Boat High Performance, and if you use code
That was it.
fix this, you get 15% off.
That's right.
So I don't know how that compares to FGCI, but go check
But
them
what
out.
was the question about deep pours? Oh yeah, we haven't used
He was
FGCI.
just asking about what kind of stuff I used.
Yeah. I think you've only ever used Total Boat, right? Right?
Well, other than that first one.
What was the first one?
I just got through telling the whole story.
Oh, sorry. Then I wasn't listening. We'll move on. You guys all heard it?
Tom just did an MBA case study on DeWalt and Black & Decker.
What?
Nice.
Nice.
Love it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
That
did,
sounds like the best MBA case study ever.
We would
What was
do.
yours on? It
Uh,
was like
they were
products.
like, it wasn't like a full scale thing, but I was doing a MBA, what do you call it? Executive MBA type thing, night class,
yes.
whatever.
You got his MBA.
And yeah, we would do like Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts. Those are the two I remember.
Oh.
What were the ones?
People are so loyal to one or the other. It seems like some people like
Oh, those
swear
are- those
that
are-
Dunkin' Donuts is better than Starbucks.
Those were very separate. Yeah, they were. It wasn't like versus. It was like Starbucks, and about how Starbucks kind of
Oh, like-
carved out a market niche.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those are the only two I can remember. But yeah, I would have loved it. I didn't get any cool power tool ones.
No, that would have been
I'd
you.
been
Man,
like,
you would have
"Yes,
loved that.
let's do
That
this."
would be awesome.
Black Widow wouldn't have to say or do anything, and she'd be a great movie.
I mean,
This is true.
it was a really good movie. It's worth seeing. And Cole said you have to wait until October to watch it on Disney Plus if you don't
Sorry
pay
about
the
your luck.
$30.
Sorry about your luck.
I thought it was like a month.
Barrio, they've already announced it is on the calendar for 2022. So yes, I believe it's in February. Might be March. February or March.
Life is getting back to normal, kind of. We were watching the highlights of the Euro. Was it the Euro today?
The Euro.
European
I was
Open?
eating this wicked Euro.
Something with England and Italy, and it was interesting to see because it was in England and the stands were packed, and it was
Oh.
not social. I don't know if you
There
noticed
you go.
that.
I did not.
Because then the Olympics are starting in like 2 weeks, and my mom was telling me no spectators. Japan, because they're in a state of emergency with COVID, and so there will be, I guess,
That'd be
according
weird.
to my mom, there'll be no spectators in the stand, not even like local people, which is what they were going to
Yeah.
do. So, but Workbench Con is happening. Is that what you said?
Yep. Michael Anthony, this is an interesting question. Would you lower your prices for customers as lumber goes down, or keep
gosh.
pricing where it is at and just have higher margins?
Oh,
To answer that question, I'll answer it two ways. One, it depends, because it depends on what you did beforehand, like how much you raised it. Like if you raised it 1-to-1, like if lumber cost you $10 more, you charge them $10 more,
okay.
then I would definitely lower it. If you were eating some of that cost and trying to defray that and help people out, then I would not lower it 1-to-1. I would kind of make up and try to get back to where you were. I would not keep the higher margins, because that's just like, for one thing, you're not going to be able to compete well in the marketplace, honestly. I don't think, the way that making margin on materials is not a great way to do it, because it's not differentiating. I'd rather build it in and it might come out to the same price. I'd rather raise my prices in general, but not necessarily say, oh, I'm marking up my material more, but I'm using better construction methods. Like we have better designs than other people, like whatever.
Or like our techniques and like
I would
what
raise
you do
the
is
quality
so...
of my work and then raise the margins that way.
Right.
Versus being like, same thing I sold you yesterday is the same thing I'm selling you today. And even though the prices of lumber went down, you're still paying the same price, because that's going to turn people off, especially obviously, you know, like repeat customers. And like I said, it'll probably be harder to compete in the marketplace by doing that. So
people are so sick of hearing about everything going up in price. I mean, like cars are more expensive, used cars are more expensive, lumber was crazy, house prices are insane. So like, I mean, it's just, I feel like we're going to hit a point where people are, if other people that are doing the similar things to you are not charging more for the cost of materials, then yeah, I don't think, I don't know.
But so, and where I would say that is, it could be a good opportunity if you weren't charging enough margin, but I would look at it a different way. Like it could be a good way to be like, okay, well, I'm going to raise my rates from $20 an hour for my labor rate to $25 an hour, so that the prices stay the same, but you're not putting it into materials, you're putting it into the value of what you're bringing to the table, because you've got an extra year or 2 years of experience or whatever it is. So that's you know.
If they dip a little bit, like, because if you think about, we've heard a lot about like, okay, the house prices went up so crazy, and they're going to come down a little bit, but they're never going to be what they were before, right? Like it's like we've all heard that. So maybe your business and the rate that you charge people is sort of similar. Like it went up because of the materials, and it might come down a teeny bit, but it's not going to go back to what it was before because the economy is different and everything's different.
My point is, if you're going to do that, make the switch in how you quote and everything to do it in your labor, not in your materials.
Yes.
So, whoa.
What was that?
That was crazy. I thought that was like a rat running across the floor or something.
I thought it was a huge spider.
There's a power cable coming out of the monitor.
Like one of these
and I had one of those twisty ties on it.
But like thicker and bigger.
It was like all wrapped around, and all of a sudden it just kind of
went down the
power
cord,
cable.
and it was creepy as all get out.
Weird. I thought something was crawling across the floor.
That was the thing when we were watching the Black Widow. We took our kids and we went like with your family. Like everyone came, we went to the theater, and it was a matinee and it was pretty full, so it's kind of crazy. But but we went with our kids, and the previews of some of those movies were really scary.
It was like
our daughter's 9, and I was like, "Oh, just close your eyes if it's too scary." And she's like, "Oh, it looks good." And it was like a really scary one. I'm like, "Oh no, we're gonna hear about this later." But
Ryan, I don't have any Bosch tools anymore. That's not true.
Do you have like a jigsaw or something?
I don't remember.
You have something in a case.
Bosch makes great jigsaws. I had a palm router. I had the Bosch Colt. I also had I have a lot of like Bosch bits and stuff. Bosch makes great spade bits. I've got Bosch spade bits.
Oh yeah.
And then I've got like their laser levelers. They make great ones. So I do have some, but not like
power tools.
Power tools, mainstream power tools. I don't have any of those. But they make great stuff. I mean, like I've never Bosch has always been like right up there with DeWalt and Milwaukee, but just not as popular.
Why do you think you
like
don't have
as good, but not as popular. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because they don't have as big of a lineup either. I think is probably one of the reasons. They don't have. Do they even have a circular saw? Like I couldn't tell. Do they have a track saw? Maybe they probably have a track saw, but it just seems like they've not kept up. Like they don't have all those ancillary tools. They've got the main ones.
Ancillary. Yeah. Listen to you with the fancy words tonight.
That's a $2 word.
I mean, ancillary is like a $3 word.
I like it. All right.
Sorry.
I'm taking it.
I'm really impressed. I'm
Alan Isaac,
impressed.
any new merch coming in the future? I'll tell you what.
Oh, gosh.
If you're here earlier, we were talking about Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Chris is awesome.
He really is.
I hope Chris is watching this because he's awesome.
We should tell him you should go back and watch the live.
I'll talk about how awesome you are. He's been an amazing addition to the team.
Yes.
And he is a graphic artist by trade. And he's come up with a bunch of really funny shirts.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I asked him. I was like, come up with some shirt designs. Like just when you think about stuff, he's been with us for a little over 3 months now, and he's just been kind of like having this little cache of ideas.
Yeah.
And there's a few really funny ones that I want to do.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So
They're
yes,
awesome.
I hope so.
Yep.
Liquid glass and super clear. Yeah, I have.
Oh.
I definitely have heard of that. Oh, Loki is fantastic. Husky.
Loki's so good.
I can't wait. What Wednesday the season finale?
How
It's gonna be
smart
awesome.
of Marvel to like be doing that, and then it just kind of
it's-
keeps everything fresh.
So if you do go watch Black Widow, stay till the end because
Yes.
they have like the typical end of credits scene. And there's a tie. No spoiler, but there is a tie-in. They're starting to tie in with the series.
Yeah.
Which is
Just
pretty
cool. I know, like your sister and her family got up, and we were like, no, sit down. We have to wait. And then it was just cool
And,
being
like,
in the theater.
About
'Cause
half, at least half.
A lot of
Probably
people left
3/4.
because they didn't know, but a lot of people stayed, and we were all just kind of hanging out. And then as soon as the thing at the end happened, everyone was like, shh. It was really good.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
We love the Marvel movies. They're fantastic.
we do.
Yes. Oh, and it is, Tyrone. Supply and demand, 100%.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
but
for real.
I love it. This is perfect. We're right at 10
I mean,
o'clock.
if you were an economics teacher before the pandemic hit, this was like the best thing ever to teach about
Let
all
me
of
teach
that.
you about supply and demand. All right, guys. If you have not seen
Yeah.
the 13 ways to organize a messy woodworking shop video, go check it out. It's on the channel. Doing pretty well so far. So that's great. Good to see that's being well received. And actually, so I labeled a lot of stuff. If you're looking at the sponsor was Brother, they do have a coupon for the labeler and a tape label. It's a nice one.
Where
And it's
is
fairly
it?
inexpensive.
It's got to be in here somewhere, but it's all
yeah,
right.
it's somewhere.
I don't know. Right?
But it's fairly
We
inexpensive.
do love a
I think it's
Brother
like, it's like $45
maker.
for the label maker. And then the rolls are different. They're $10 to $15, I think. Anyway, if you're in the market for one, you can go grab a 10% off discount. There's a little link in the description of the YouTube video. So check that out if you're in the market and you save a few bucks. Other than that, we will catch you guys. Oh, Barrio said, did Chuck go to the movies? We got to bring Chuck back. Chuck hasn't made it by a few.
He hasn't been around for a while.
He'll come back.
I think
Don't
he's
worry.
been on vacation.
But we'll catch you guys next week and on Instagram, Facebook, wherever in between. So I hope you guys have a great one. Get out there, build something awesome this week, and we'll catch you guys next Sunday.
Yep.
All right. See you guys.
Good night.
Bye.